Hello, I'm Bea Cupin. Welcome to Rappler. In July, Vice President Binay was accused of overpricing a Makati City building contract. A probe by the Senate Blue Ribbon Subcommittee on the matter continues, and the issue has now branched out into other corruption allegations. What happens next for Binay, who is currently facing the biggest corruption scandal to hit his political career? Joining us today is Cavite Governor John Vic Remulla, spokesman for political affairs of Vice President Binay, to discuss the issue further. Thank you for joining us, sir.
Good morning, Bea. Good morning. Morning to everyone.
So, sir, one of the biggest news from yesterday was the Vice President's, should I say this, nonchalant announcement that he would be, he won't be joining the planned debate with Senator Antonio Trillanes IV. So, could you just...
Everyone was caught by surprise. We
right.
had talked the night before, and he said that we would discuss the final details yesterday during his birthday.
Okay.
But as he explained it to me, he had an epiphany. He's been having an epiphany for the last few days, going around Tacloban, going around Gian, coming home, running with the Marines. And he realized that there are things that matter. There are things that really matter that the country needs. And there are things that we can do without. That the country, it's a disservice to quarrel and to bicker at this time. And he would rather push an agenda for moving the country forward. He's not hiding from the truth. He's not running away from it. The ombudsman is there. He's facing all the accusations. His lawyers are there. For whatever the ombudsman, the proper venue in the proper forum that he considers legitimate to handle this, he's more than willing and able to do this. But he said, enough is enough. I won't be part of the quarreling. I won't be starting the bickering. I want to move the country forward. I'll do my task. I'll be vice president, and I will work for the country. And he doesn't think that quarreling will get him anywhere.
Okay, but Governor, I have to clarify, because during the interview, he told us, the reporters who were there, he told us it was a spontaneous decision.
It was.
Because
and as he said, it was an epiphany on his part. Plus the fact that Trillanes was downplaying it and trying to play mind games with it. And he said, enough is enough. Tama na yan.
But the senator said in a press con right after, actually, like an hour or two after the vice president announced it, na they had a meeting on Monday. They even spoke the night before. Is that
they had the meeting?
He said on Monday they actually met.
Him and
with Senator Binay as well. Yeah.
He met. No, that didn't happen.
That didn't happen.
That didn't happen.
Okay, and he spoke to the vice president at 9:30 in the evening. It was very.
I don't think so. He was with his family. The night before was his wife's birthday.
Right.
So I don't think they met. I think it is a very private celebration. It was with him and his family.
On the phone, sir. Sorry, he said on the phone.
I doubt it. He would have mentioned it to me, but I will confirm. But I doubt that.
Okay. So you were there. You were the representative for the KBP meetings, correct?
Yes, I was. Yes, I was.
Could you share with us, like, how were the
negotiations were good. It was a Westminster-style debate. It's supposed to be.
Okay.
Okay. An 8-minute opening statement. To be first led off by the vice president. Then there were 4 propositions. First one is the Makati Building 2 overpriced. Second proposition is has the Senate overreached in its investigation in aid of legislation.
Okay.
Number 3, does Binay own the 150-hectare Rosario property? And the 4th proposition was Senator Trillanes is a beneficiary of the culpable violation of the Constitution because of DAP and PDAF.
Okay.
So those were the 4 propositions.
And his side agreed to that?
We never got there. When the final propositions were done, we were supposed to have met yesterday, but the vice president asked to move it to tomorrow, to Thursday. But then he announced it earlier on. So that's that.
So you issued a statement several hours after that interview, that ambush interview. You were mentioning Yolanda na, the realization. I'm sorry, but a lot of people see it as palusot.
Well, they will. It's fair. It's fair that they see it as palusot. But it's true. He was given a task by the president. Fix this. He was the only one given the task to fix this. When you're here in Manila, you do not realize the amount of pain and devastation that the people still feel a year after. That nothing or very little has been done. And a year after, what do you get? You get finger pointing. You have the president saying, don't blame me. You have said the former Senator Lacson saying, Congressman, Mayor Romualdez is at fault. Everyone is finger pointing and avoiding the issue. And it's only the Vice President said, I'll do this, I'll fix it, I'm going to go there, and I'm going to do the housing project.
But sir, the finger pointing that's happened since a year
But
ago.
no, but it was exacerbated on the anniversary itself.
Okay.
On November 7, you had the President skipping it and going to Guian. And everyone questioned him why. And he said, you can question me, but I'm doing the right thing.
Okay.
And then you have Senator Lacson saying the next day, it's Mayor Romualdez's fault. How can this country move forward if everyone wants to blame each other? That is why he said, let's stop blaming each other and let's go to work. And that's what he's always done. As a mayor, as a vice president, let's go to work. And that's the direction he wanted to take.
His party mates in Una and his family members have been very, very vocal. They didn't want the debate.
They didn't want it.
And what was the process? Why did the vice president even float the idea of a debate?
He was in, if I understand Cagayan de Oro,
Okay.
Senator Trillanes had said some very hurting words against him and his family.
Okay.
And it was a off chance ambush interview.
Okay.
And he
Like
said,
like the one yesterday.
like the one yesterday.
Okay.
And he said, enough is enough. Let the accuser face the accused.
Okay.
So that is when it sprung up. It's not that it was nothing more really, that it was a very emotional moment for him and he really wanted to start defending himself.
Okay.
But again, cooler heads intervened. He said, nagpakalalaki siya eh. Sabi niya, sige, tuloy na natin to. But then the greater sense of responsibility for the country took over. And he heeded the inner voices in his head and said, it's better to go to work rather than to do this thing.
I like that. What you said, nagpakalalaki siya, but now,
Yes.
his detractors are saying, duwag siya, di ba? Nag-back out.
They can say all they want, but he's going
Okay.
to work. They can say all they want, but he's going to work. Pupunta siya ron. Pupunta siya ng Tacloban. He's going to start working. He's going to start solving problems. He's been solving problems his entire life. Makati was a backward, it was a nondescript town.
Right.
When he arrived, it became the premier city
Right.
so many years after.
Right.
He's good. He said, I like working. Gusto ko tumulong. Gusto ko gawin ng tama. Sabi sa akin ng Pangulo, ayusin mo to. Ayusin ko to.
Been there,
Sabihin
done
nila lahat. As the president said, blame me for everything, but I will do my work. And he's doing the same. He's going to do his work.
I see a pattern with the vice president, sir. The debate, it was an impromptu decision. Yesterday was an impromptu announcement. Could you tell us what process does the vice president go through when he announces these things? Does he consult you guys?
Those are blips. You have to
Okay.
you have to you have
Okay.
to you have to take into account that those are blips. The communication process is usually structured for him.
Okay.
Except sometimes he's caught off guard and he's very emotional
Okay.
about things. And you have to give him room to make room for error in some things. And it was an emotional moment.
Right.
Enough. He felt very slighted by the senator. It is getting to him, and he said, "Let's do the debate." But then in the end, what do I have to win? Why did I do that? And he takes his responsibility for issuing the challenge. He does.
Okay.
He does not back away. It's no one's bad except his. He said, "It's my bad. Ako yan. I issued it, and I retract from it."
What kind of input do you guys have? When he announced that we're gonna do a debate. After that, I'm sure you meet, talk about it.
Yes, he said, we're going to do the debate. Okay, start representing me. So I go. And then he said, okay, let's finalize things tomorrow. That was Monday night. He said, let's talk about Tuesday. Then he had apparently had made up his decision already Tuesday morning.
But isn't that difficult for you, Congressman Chanco, JV Bautista, and even...
It's okay. It's part of our jobs.
Okay.
We adjust. And
Okay.
we believe in him. We believe in what he can do. We believe in what he has done. We believe in his ability to defend himself in the proper forum. So we compartmentalize it, and we believe what he can do for the country. We really do. We've seen the template of leadership that he has. I think he has the best narrative of all candidates. I think people are trying to destroy that narrative.
Okay.
I think he's ready and able, and he has a blueprint for what he wants to do for the country. So I think he's the most prepared person for this job.
Sir, what is that narrative?
Where he came from, he was a second child of 3. His brothers died very early. He was left. He was in Isabela at 9 years old, his mother died. His mother was an Ibanag, native Ibanag. His father was a librarian.
Right.
Father couldn't care for him anymore. He was brought to Makati in a place called Kuli-Kuli. And he was left with the care with the father's cousin as he was very well taken care of. But he has to do his chores. He took care of the pigs. He had to go to the market. He lived with the help. And he worked his way up. Nothing was ever given to him. Nothing was ever given to him. He's worked for everything his entire life. And he became a human rights advocate. He fought against martial law. He became a mayor. He defended the Constitution. He built Makati, the premier city in the country. And he's now vice president and considered as the top performing cabinet member. The number one performing cabinet member because of his most trusted because of his work in housing. So he has a great narrative. Everyone else is trying to either look cute, look smart, look competent, but he's actually the only one working. Let's not go there.
Okay. But that narrative, the whole, I came from rags to riches, the rags to riches story.
It's rags to responsibility.
Okay. But some people are criticizing that, especially the vice president released a statement on talking about his detractors, parang they don't want us, the poor, to solve.
No, you're citing the wrong quote. You should quote Senator Trillanes instead, who says, "Ayan si Vice President, kulay mahirap, astang mahirap."
Okay, that's what provoked that statement.
That's what provoked that statement. Because Senator Trillanes really, if you look at him, he really looks down on the Vice President. Mukhang mahirap.
But he said he's an underdog.
Well, that's just debate tactics. But to come from his mouth, mukhang mahirap, astang mahirap, kulay mahirap, what does that mean?
Okay.
He meant something by that, and that's how he sees the Vice President.
Okay. So speaking of Senator Trillanes and the subcommittee, ang dami ng issues, dami ng expose na nangyari.
Yes.
But then there's a survey saying 79% of Filipinos want him to face the Senate, and yet he skipped invitations twice.
Yes. Surveys are confusing.
Okay.
And there are questions that matter and questions that shouldn't be taken as seriously. If you look at the surveys now, the top 10 reasons of what the voters really want to happen, they would always say jobs.
All right.
They would always say peace and order. They would always say better transportation. They'd always say lower the cost of goods. Number 11, 12 are the Binay issues about the allegations. It's not on top of people's minds. If you ask them, of course he should attend. But is it really important to them? It's not.
So is that why the Vice President doesn't see a pressing need to go there?
He sees the pressing need to present the truth to the proper forum, but not the Senate.
So where is the proper forum?
The Ombudsman.
Just imagine because the allegations are being hurled at before the Senate session, the session hall. Wouldn't it make sense to air your side there as well? Because
I get that.
It's covered on TV Live.
Yes, it's covered on TV Live.
On social media,
But what other venue can you find that you are accuser, you are judge, you are jury at the same time?
Okay.
What other venue can you find in supposed to be ferreting out the truth if they do not like the statement in aid of legislation? If they do not like the statement of the witness, they will cut it off. If they don't like the statement, they will put him aside and berate him.
Okay.
They only accept what they want to hear. Where else can you find a body that has a witness who perjured himself? Two of them, Bondal and Mercado, have perjured themselves, and yet no action was taken.
But Mercado would counter that. Fake daw yung certificate that.
No, in other instances, he's been shown to be telling lies. And where else can you find a body that a witness has intentionally or unintentionally perjured themselves, and yet there's nothing. There's no action. There's nothing. It's not even mentioned. Are you sure about your facts? They're not. They didn't even bring it up.
Right.
But when another witness comes up, I will put you to jail. Then they threaten them. See, so the impartiality is what is wearing people off. Even the president said, let's get this over with.
Yes.
Recently. Diba, he just said while he was in Japan, let's get this over with, trabaho na tayo. People are getting tired of it. People really are.
Do you think it'll have a backlash on this?
It'll have a backlash, and it has already. Nakita niyo naman ang rating ni Senator Cayetano. He goes, I want to be president. He was at 12.
Right.
He starts going after Binay. He goes to 9 to 7 to 5 to 1. Why? People don't want destroyers. People want builders.
But they're saying their narrative is that they just want to ferret out the truth. They just want.
People want builders.
Okay.
People want to see results.
All right.
People don't want to see negativity. And that's what they just purport. It's just the negativity. They want to destroy. Senator Trillanes has been a destroyer all his life. He has destroyed Makati, he has destroyed the institution of the military. He's been destroying everything to his entire life. But what has he got to show for it? In the 7 years as senator, what has he got to show? Nothing but destruction, the path of destruction that goes on. He's the Yolanda of senators. It's a path of destruction wherever he goes.
But now he's painting the vice president also as someone who is consistent in going back against his word. He mentioned nga the Oakwood mutiny.
That's really funny because the vice president has been defending the Constitution his entire life.
Okay.
He has. He fought for it. It was established. He was with Cory when Makati was attacked. He was with the president with then Noy Noy just before he got ambushed.
Yeah.
He was in the forefront of any coup attempts against him. And here you have a senator saying that the mayor was supposed to be part of the coup d'etat. The mayor then was in Baseco.
Okay.
He was in a medical dental mission with the former President Erap.
Okay.
Then he was called at 9 a.m. that there's a mayhem. And he wasn't
So
part
no
of that.
truth to that.
No, he was not part of that. He was not part of that. And you could have seen it if Makati, the employees had moved. There was nothing. There was nothing there.
Okay, but what's happening now, sir? It's really their word against.
It's exactly it. This is what you call a monumental waste of people's resources. The Senate spends 50 million pesos a day to be alive.
Okay.
50 million pesos a day.
Okay.
And what have they got to show for it? Have they fixed the MRT? Have they built houses? Have they fixed the port problem? Have they built the new airport? 50 million pesos a day, and they're not moving the country forward. The vice president wants to move the country forward. He knows there are pressing problems, and he knows there are great challenges, and he is preparing himself for these challenges when he becomes president. But what do we have? Senators who spend 50 million pesos a day to do what? Destroy.
But Senator Trillanes also admitted one of the reasons, it's not just the native legislation, but one of the reasons is he doesn't want Binay to become president.
That's fair.
Just fair.
But the resources of the Senate?
All right.
The resource, 50 million pesos a day because you don't like someone? Is that fair? Is it fair to the Filipino people? Is a bigger question. 50 million pesos a day. And that's what he has to show for it.
Okay, obviously there's no love shared between you guys and the 3 senators in the
I have
subcommittee.
respect. I have great respect.
But Senator Gingona, as the chairman of the Mother Committee, invited the vice president na. Why not attend that one?
Because it's become a circus.
Okay.
Because here you are, again, 3 senators who will spin yarn of great untruth and do a great disservice.
But he assured you guys that he would make sure that
the senator is a republic of 24 independent nations. There's no
that's
guarantee.
the president's own words, yeah.
Yeah, it's 24 independent nations. There's no guarantee of how people will behave.
That he won't be able to control his.
No, it's not him controlling, but how they will behave. There's no guarantee. There's no guarantee in the Senate. It's not a league of gentlemen where there are prescribed rules that they follow. They actually go as far as insult themselves when on the floor.
Right.
And that is why they're the least trusted institution in the country. Because of their behavior. If only they had an agenda to move the country forward, I think the public would trust them more.
So you think overall the Senate is failing as an institution?
I think so. And the people are saying that. They're the least trusted institution. The people are saying it. It's not me. It's the people.
Right,
They have the lowest approval ratings of all.
Right. Sir, I won't ask you point by point kasi ang dami na.
Dami niyan.
You have cakes, you have kickbacks,
You have all of
you
that.
have bid rigging, you have the Rosario property. But the most recent one is the Hong Kong dollar, not just dollar, Hong Kong dollar, and then the US dollar bank accounts, supposedly owned by the vice president. They even show documents proving that there were transactions. Other accounts were shared accounts with Ebeng Baloloy. And they weren't in the salary.
I can't. I think There's a deeper story to that, from what I know, but I think the lawyers should be the one to answer that. I really don't know. I'm not in the
Is
position
that
to
why
know.
we haven't heard an explanation yet from the
There is someone coming, and I think they will show the trails of what it's all about. But
Okay.
I'm not the proper person. I'm for political concerns. These are
Okay.
financial.
Sir, again, it's he said, you said, you know.
This country has been reduced to he said.
Yeah. But how do you win this, given that, you know, that there are surveys showing...
The people will win it for us. They will.
No,
they
but
will
there are
vote.
surveys showing na bumababa na si Vice President.
You put it in another light. The surveys show that everyone has fallen down.
Okay.
Not only the vice
Like you said,
president.
it's the political
It's
situation.
the toxicity that the Senate has brought upon this country that turns people off about politics. But the greater silver lining behind the dark clouds is that the vice president overwhelmingly leads any challenger.
Okay.
We have our internals that have him 57-22 against Mar. So overwhelmingly he leads all challengers.
Okay. But at the rate the subcommittee is going, Senator Llanes said 7 more hearings. I don't think it's going to be 7 more. I think it's going to be stretched even further.
And this is the challenge for them. There is the Iloilo International Convention
there's
hearing.
there's another.
That's
and there's
tomorrow.
Malampaya pa.
There's Malampay pa. And that's tomorrow.
Okay.
They should exhibit the same kind of enthusiasm that they've had against the vice president to show that they are real senators of the land.
And you don't think they'll show the same enthusiasm?
I hope they do. I'm reserving judgment till they do. But they should show the same kind of enthusiasm, or else they will be accused of whitewashing.
But doesn't it worry you that this might stretch up until 2015?
No one gives the keys to Malacanang for free. It's not for free.
Okay.
They'll do what they have to do. They'll do what they can do. But the people are behind the vice president, and we're very, very, very confident of that.
Okay, speaking of the Vice President and Malacanang, the President now, so many narratives, so many stories. The infamous meeting.
That's a dead issue. Let's not go there.
But as far as you know, how is the relationship between...
You know what? It's a complex relationship.
Okay.
They have put their lives on the line for each other so many times before they both became politicians.
Okay.
And politics muddles a lot of things. And sometimes you don't know whether lines have been crossed or the lines remain there or the lines...
Right.
It's a complex relationship that only two of them can explain, that no other spokesperson or no other even best friend can dare claim to know what they're talking about, because only the two of them understand.
Personally naman, sir, ikaw, how would you characterize your relationship with the Vice President right now?
Well, I'm a follower and I'm a believer.
Okay.
And I cannot be his friend because I don't want the lines to be blurred in my service to him and the country. I remain steadfast, a believer in his vision for what happens to the country.
All right.
And I will work tirelessly for that vision to happen.
Okay.
And I believe that he's the best person for the job. But I cannot, and I will never ever claim to be his friend or good friend, because I don't want to cross that line.
Okay. It's been almost 3 months since it was
Yeah.
announced that
2.5.
you would be the Vice President spokesman. How has it
And
been
I have
so?
aged tremendously.
How has it been so far?
It's been a ride. It's great. I love it. I love it.
Okay.
I'm a political animal. I like what I'm doing.
Okay.
I'm learning a lot, and I'm enjoying it. It's just the time that I have to spend on this and the mental energy that I have to spend. But I'm enjoying it. It's been great fun.
How do you balance that role as, your elected position as Cavite governor?
First is being a family man. First is being a father. So
Okay.
I spend my mornings with my children, besides seeing them off to school. And then I receive my constituents at home. Then I go to the office. I'm in the office by 9 until 12 or 1. Then I usually have a afternoon briefing with the vice president or his chief of staff.
Okay.
Then I'm back in the province by 3, campaigning, going around already. It's a big province, so I'm going around already. Then I'm home by 6. So it's a lot of work going back and forth.
Campaigning, so I take that to say you're not gunning for national post.
No, I'm not. I'm sorry for being surprised, but no, people are speculating, but I'm not.
Why not?
I think
No,
I'm
because I think it's fair for people to speculate, because you're taking on a national role now
Yes.
as a spokesman of the Vice President, diba?
Being a spokesperson is the worst vehicle for you to enter into a national
Okay.
office.
Okay.
Because you imbibe all of the negatives and you don't get to promote your own advocacies.
Okay.
So it's not a vehicle for me to go national. I'm only here to help.
So of the 4 spokesmen of the Vice President, more or less.
Three.
But JV Bautista somehow.
JV, Toby, and I.
And Mr. Joey Salgado.
Sagado is the communications director.
Okay.
He
Okay,
doesn't
the
really
3 of
speak.
you. 2 of
Yeah.
you are elected.
Yes.
Doesn't it worry you that, as you said, it's the worst way to...
I'm confident about my constituency back home. I work very hard to make
Okay.
things better.
Okay.
Our approval ratings are very good. My trust rating is pretty good. We have great plans. We're doing some more. We're moving the province forward. Our growth rate is tremendous. It's explosive. I keep myself abreast by humbling myself and being immersed all the time to know what's going on. I don't stay in the office much. I just really go around.
Going back to the Vice President, it's less than 2 years to the 2016 elections.
Who's counting? But yeah, 17 months.
You're counting.
15 months. Yeah, 17 months.
How are
Yeah.
the preparations?
We're ready. Structure-wise, we have a few tweaking to do, but
Okay.
he's ready. He's ready to give out this message of how to build the country.
When can we expect that message?
I think after the December is a no-fight time. December is a lull time for the entire country. No one wants to be a Scrooge during Christmas. January, the Pope arrives, and so everyone prepares for that. February is convention time, and all parties have to have a convention. And then it gets defined. It's defined who will run against the Vice President, and it'll define the other candidates will define themselves as being the opponent of the Vice President, and the Vice President will define his agenda for the future.
So you think he's going to be the standard for other
Well, he has a target on his back. Everyone's going to be gunning after him because he's leading. But I think, everybody's trying to play cute and trying to be charismatic and trying to win hearts. He's been winning minds, and the commitment is strong.
The Vice President said yesterday that the accusations against him are weakening, waning. Do you feel the same way?
People are tired. People are tired.
Okay.
It's a charade. I think the senators handled it wrong. I think if they had been more impartial, people would have believed them more. But where can you find a senator who goes from 12% to 1% in a matter of 2 months?
Okay.
He just dropped like a rock because the impartiality was not there and the credibility was not there.
Sir, you wrote before in an entry we republished in Rappler.
Yes.
You explained why you...
I am all in.
What pushed you to write that, actually? You said before that you're not really a prolific writer, but...
I'm not.
Okay.
There's some fits of inspiration that I get, and people will ask me incessantly why I'm doing this.
Okay.
There's a certain sector of society a large of them, your viewers and your followers, who always question why I'm doing this. And I had to write it, and I had to explain myself and give my piece. I think I didn't want to enter the job of being a spokesperson and letting the issue be about me. And that there's a tendency to do that. And I didn't want my ego to supersede the Vice President's agenda. So I defined everything very early on, and I explained, and I'm here. A lot of people will get a big kick out of being in the media all the time, and
Right.
it's fun and everything. But the story isn't about me.
All right.
It's not about me. It's about him, and that I've been trying to be very conscious of that.
So talk about the Rappler reader. I guess that means the online community.
Yes, the online community.
It hasn't been very friendly towards the Vice President.
Well, it's expected. The demographics that that use the internet are not exactly the demographics of the Vice President.
So, is it fair to say that we're not really concerned about
We are.
the
Every
online
vote counts.
backlash?
Every vote counts.
Okay.
But what is the greater service of a site like Rappler is that it equalizes everything.
Okay.
People candidates deserve to be scrutinized. They deserve to be scrutinized. And it is a function of democracy that the Fourth Estate scrutinize all the wannabes to be president.
So
And
taking that, does that mean you also welcome the...
it's part of democracy. We shouldn't shy away from it.
Okay.
We shouldn't blame anyone for it. It's part of democracy. You should embrace it. And if it's too hot, get out of the kitchen. So it's a tough job, and it's not something I aspire for, to because it's too
So I
hot.
guess you're never.
The kitchen's too hot.
Okay.
The kitchen's too hot, and there were times when I entertained thoughts about pursuing things, but after seeing what I've seen, I don't know if I'm up to it.
Right. So, okay, that's the situation now. The hearings, the subcommittee doesn't seem to plan on wrapping things up anytime soon, although the president has
They're doing it.
personally feels that.
They're sinking like a rock.
Okay.
They're sinking like a rock. They have nowhere to go anymore. They can try as hard as they want, but people are going to tune out.
But given all that, sir, again, to use your own words, are you still all in?
I'm all in. I'm all in. I'm all in. I'm all in.
Up until?
Up until he wins the presidency.
Oh, sorry. Last question. How long will you stay on as the spokesman of the vice president?
My shelf life is until January.
Shelf life.
Yes.
Shelf life.
My shelf life. People are going to start tuning out on me, so
Okay.
I have to be replaced. I really asked that. They said that after a while, people start tuning out of the spokesperson, and you have to infuse new energy into it. But I will not leave the campaign, and I will be a big part of the campaign. I'm going to be part of laying the forward agenda of the presidency, of how it will be, and framing it and explaining it. But there's a shelf life to a spokesperson, and I think I've reached my terminal limits.
There are a lot more questions actually, I think, but let's put it at that for now.
Okay.
May mga hearings pa naman yung subcommittee.
Marami
I'm sure
pa.
you'll still
Yeah.
be,
I'll be
still
around.
have to you
Yeah,
know,
I'll be around.
answer
and-
questions.
Yes.
And put out flames, I guess, sometimes.
Yes.
Thank you. And that was spokesman John Vic Remulla. Again, this is Bea Cupin of Rappler. Thank you for joining us.